Hey, welcome back to the Joe Walsh Show. We start with an important and serious question. Our intelligence community, when is it appropriate to criticize them, and how do we go about doing that? We'll get an insider's view answer to that question in a moment. Then great news, a British baby is alive, thanks to America. And as always, we close with our gallery of the stupid. San Francisco and London, man, they stand out today. This issue of our intelligence community, the men and women of the FBI and all the other agents who are pledged to help keep us safe in this country and around the world, it's become a big issue ever since the election of Donald Trump. It's become a big issue because the election of 2016 made clear, a very hotly contested election, made clear a couple truths that we now know. Russia interfered, and there are certainly questions about how our very own FBI and our very own Justice Department behaved during that campaign. Questions that demand answers, questions that demand an investigation. And like a broken record, I've said from the very beginning, look into both. Drill down on exactly what a foreign government did to impact our elections so that that will never happen again. But don't stop there. Find out exactly what our FBI did. Was there bias at the FBI? Bias among how many individuals? Bias that actually might have impacted the election result? That needs to be looked into as well. Now, unfortunately, 18 months later, there's a divide in the country. We've got one investigation going really strong, the Mueller investigation, looking into what Russia did and looking into the possibility, only the possibility of any American assisting Russia. But you know what? The issue of what did our own people do? Were our own people biased against Donald Trump? It's clear, right? It's clear that Russia was more favorably disposed to the president. But were folks in our government, were folks in our FBI and our Justice Department, did they weight the scales toward Hillary Clinton and against President Trump? And unfortunately, that question has not brought forth its own special counsel, and it should. And it should. We've had the Inspector General look into how the FBI behaved when it came to Hillary's email server problem. We have the FBI's IG looking into how they handled their role in the Russia investigation, in the Russia interference. But no, it's a big enough deal. This issue of what our own people did, of what our intelligence community did, I've said from the start, to help heal a divided country, it demands its own special standalone investigation. The FBI needs to be looked at by an outside party. The CIA, the Justice Department, our entire intelligence community needs a thorough outside investigation, because here's what's going to happen. You and I know what's going to happen. Bob Mueller is going to come down with his results, his findings, maybe tomorrow, maybe 3 or 4 months from now, maybe 9 months from now. Who knows when? But eventually, Robert Mueller's findings on what Russia did and did any American assist Russia, they're going to be out there for the entire country to see. And if we've only got that story, if we've only got that part of the story and not a clear understanding of what our FBI and intelligence community did, this country is going to remain very, very divided. Let's talk about our intelligence community. I'm very happy to be joined by John Kiriakou. John, I hope I got your last name right, a former CIA whistleblower. Start with where I led off. The entire issue, John, of our intelligence community. it seems to me like we need a thorough investigation into their behavior. Wouldn't you agree?
Without any question, I think you are absolutely correct. And this is a big problem in Congress on Capitol Hill. We have these oversight committees that really don't oversee anything. They act more as cheerleaders for the intelligence community than they do as overseers. And when you've got two peas in the same pod, you end up with an intelligence community that literally does anything it wants to do with impunity. And we've seen them try to do exactly that for the last 18 months.
So, John, from your very unique perspective, and we've got Americans all over the country listening to you and I right now, watching us, what is the biggest problem that you see right now inside our intelligence community?
It's politicization. To tell you the truth, Barack Obama politicized the intelligence community unlike any other president in modern American history. When I first joined the CIA, I genuinely didn't know the political affiliation of any of my colleagues because politics never came up. We never discussed it. It was never important. We were there to serve the country, and that was it. When Barack Obama became president, and then especially when John Brennan became the director of the CIA, it became a very, very political organization. And now you have a situation where not just John Brennan, but 3 and 4 levels of people below him have left the agency, and they've gone on to the networks to be talking heads. I mean, how political is that? That's just unprecedented. It never happened in the past. And so it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of congressional oversight to go back to that nonpartisan organization that it used to be.
John, most Americans want to believe, look, there's bias everywhere. Everybody in government has bias. But like you, all the other professionals at the CIA and the FBI, they put their bias away when they go to work every day. But how true is that?
You know, it used to be true. It used to be the status quo, and now it's different. The problem is there are so many people at the CIA in the senior intelligence service, that's the leadership level, the executive level of the CIA, who have been there for 20, 25, 30 years, maybe more. And they know that if they don't like a president or his politics, they can wait that president out. They did it with Jimmy Carter. They did it with Bill Clinton. And if they don't like Donald Trump, they think that they can wait him out because presidents come and go, and they're always there. And I think that's really what the strategy is for a lot of the people in the mid to higher levels of CIA leadership.
This is, John, this is scary stuff. How do you even begin to fix this?
What Ronald Reagan did was he fired a lot of people. And I think that there has to be a house cleaning at the CIA. Again, Congress should have been on this like white on rice, and they haven't been. And so what we need really is an outside director, someone who has close personal ties with the president, but not close personal ties with the CIA leadership, to go in and clean house. It's happened a couple of times in the last generation or two, and it needs to happen again.
The current director, Gina Haspel, clearly that's not going to be her role at all, correct?
No, not at all. Gina's a long-time, 32-year CIA veteran. She's very, very popular among the rank and file. She was a terrific officer. I worked directly for her when I was in the Counterterrorism Center. But Gina's not the kind of person who's going to make waves, not at all.
John, what's the if you had to guess, and maybe it's more of a guess, what's the morale like among the rank and file in our CIA?
Well, post 9/11, morale was higher than it had been in recorded memory at the CIA. That's changed. And it's because I think that so many CIA officers at the senior level have found that they can't control Donald Trump. They're so used to being able to go into an Oval Office meeting and tell the president what they want him to do. And they couch it in such a way that they offer it up as analysis. So they suggest to the president what they want him to do vis-a-vis a policy. That's not the way Donald Trump does business. And so I think that it's been very difficult for them to get used to that, to get used to his leadership style and the fact that he is not easily ordered around. And as a result, morale has dropped.
Interesting. Hey, John, I really appreciate your time. Very interesting perspective. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, socialized medicine kills. Thank God for America. I'll explain next.